building. Clean out my bed with that shit. There's Kishiani Gaming Nation in the building. Here to do this live. My live is titled today, I will never respect hoes that lie to good, honest men. Now, in today's society, right, we will hold men accountable, and the way society is trained is because it's always a man's fault. We will hold a bad man accountable for leading a good, honest woman wrong, but we won't hold a bad woman for lying to a good, honest man, right? Um, if you realize, right, when it comes to a job interview, you go to a job, you're working for a boss. If you lie to your boss, you're not going to blame the boss for why the person or the employee lies. You're going to blame the employee for lying to the boss or the manager, or misrepresenting yourself on your job application or your resume. You're gonna get when you go into a courtroom and you swear to tell the truth on the Bible, and the court or that judge finds out that you're lying. We're not going to blame the judge. You're going to blame the person for lying. Um, when you sign up to go to the military, right, and you lie on your application to join the military, you're not going to blame the military. The military is going to blame you for lying to the military. So why is it in relationships? And not only that, the military is going to reprimand you, and you might even face prison time for lying to the military. And they're going to court-martial you, right? Same thing with a court of law. Same thing with anything in life where you go into where you're a person and you're applying to be a part of that organization, and you lie to the boss of that organization or the CEO of the organization, even in a gang, right? And you lie or you do something that's wrong. You cannot then blame the OG or the boss because you lied. You was in error. The boss is going to punish you and get rid of you or dismiss you from that organization. But when it comes to relationships between men and women in the dating and mating game, when a woman lies to a man and she manipulates a man, she's not being held accountable, right? Now, at the same time, we can walk into bubblegum and we can have comprehensive critical thinking, right? Yes, I agree that a man should not allow a woman to manipulate him, but at the same time, that woman should be held accountable for lying and manipulating a man, right? Just like we'll tell a person, hey, you know, make sure you have ADT for your house, make sure you have something to defend yourself in your house, or when you're driving a car, make sure you wear a seatbelt. We're not going to say that the person who broke into the house or robbed that person, we're not going to say it's the person's fault for why that person broke into the house. We're still going to say to that, well, what we're going to say is, yes, the person whose house got broken, he should figure out better ways to protect his house, but we're still going to hold the other person for breaking into that house accountable. We're still going to lock that person up. We're still going to send that person to prison. Because even though that house had ADT, had a security alarm or security systems, this person still broke in the house, right? And we're not going to tell the homeowner, hey, because you allowed this person, or it's not even that the homeowner allowed the person. The homeowner did everything that the homeowner was supposed to do. And this person, the other person, the robber, still broke into the homeowner's house, right? And even though we're going to tell the homeowner to, better protect yourself next time, we're still going to hold the robber accountable and punish the robber for breaking in the house. And I don't know why we don't apply that same logic to dating, mating, relationships between men and women, right? And a lot of times we'll tell good, honest men that, you're never enough. But prior to that, Or we'll listen to women speak and say that good, honest men are never enough. And the thing is that society has been programming men to be good and honest. This is something that women say that they want, they're expecting from men to be good and honest and straightforward and transparent with her. But every time women or get this type of dude, she always fucks it up, or she says it's never enough, right? And then what we'll do is we'll continue to blame the good, honest man and say, you need to do A, B, C, and D. But we won't take the woman and say, but wait a minute, you said this is what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Now you're saying it's not enough. At that point, it's not the problem of the good, honest man. It's the problem of that woman for not holding herself accountable to the good, honest man. See, we can't have an environment where we're telling these men on the internet that to be an expectation for the women, but at the same time, don't hold the women accountable for being an expectation to the men. Or else what's going to happen is you're going to have men who fit all kind of criteria and expectations, but not enough, but there's not going to be women or enough women out there that meet his expectations because there was no expectations for that woman to meet before she got to the date or before she got into a relationship, right? Now, this is going to be a short video. It's not going to be long. But when you come in, click the like, click the subscribe, donate, support, donate to the Cash App, donate to my PayPal, share me out, share my videos, let the world know about me, let your friends know about me, right? While I will never respect a hoe that lies to good, honest men, I don't respect a hoe or a woman who pretends to be something they are not and lie about who they are to an honest dude. Because in our society, if a hoe lies to a man to get into a relationship, she doesn't. Oh, okay. So I said, because in our society, I have to write certain things down because I have ADHD, and I don't always remember my talking points, so I have to write them down. So what I do is I write them down, and then I go further in on the topic of what I said, right? So I just write these things down to give me a guide, right? What I said here or wrote here is, if a hoe lies to a man to get into a relationship she doesn't qualify for, society doesn't punish or hold her accountable. Society will blame the man for picking or choosing wrong. Now, even though that statement is true that that man picked or chose wrong, we have to dive deeper into that surface level statement, right? Now, if that hoe was honest with that man from the beginning about who she was and what her intentions were, he would have never picked her. He would have never chose her. He would have dismissed her and got up and walked away from the table. But because that hoe lied and pretended to be something she was not, he picked her. He picked the illusion of her. And no man, I don't care your vetting process, you're not going to know who this person is until she reveals it herself to you, right? Okay. And two, we don't when a person in society tries to get into a job she's not qualified, well, anybody, men, women, men and women, whatever gender you say you are, right? And you apply for a job that you know you're not qualified for, and the job finds out that you were not qualified, they're going to dismiss you for it, and they're going to hold you accountable, and you're going to be punished for it. If you try to spend money on something you cannot afford, you're going to be held accountable for that, right? So even though I agree that a man must pick better, right? But that woman has a responsibility to not lie. If we expect men to be transparent and be honest, then that logic has to apply to women. And if she knows she does not qualify for that dude, leave that dude the fuck alone. I'm really getting tired of society and you dudes on this internet, on these YouTube channels, blaming the man for everything. You don't hold the chick accountable for nothing. It's always what he picks. Well, she could choose too. She has free will. She has intelligence. She could pick too. right? There are women out here that know that there's certain men that they don't qualify for, so they don't mess with those dudes. They leave dudes alone, right? So to continue, um, even though there's truth in that statement, but the honest good men who are solid tell most of these women what he is looking for. So in other words, the honest good men tell women, because if you're an honest man, you're being transparent. If you're a good honest dude, you're always gonna let if you're a good honest solid dude, you're always gonna be straightforward and let these women know who you are, what's your intentions, and what you expect from that woman. So uh the good honest men are very straightforward with their women. And see the thing about a hoe is she knows she knows the different kind of men, because a hoe, that's what she's experienced with, right? She's experienced with dealing with different men. She's experienced with dealing with players, pimps, pastors, good men, bad men. So a hoe has a lot of game when it comes to dealing with men and following men. So she has a lot of wisdom with that. So now, if that hoe who's lying, a hoe that lies, right? I'm not saying the honest, I'm saying a hoe that lies. She recognizes that this dude is a good, honest dude, and the things that he's telling her straightforward with her and what he expects from her, she already knows she doesn't qualify for it, but she still chooses to lie to him and be there. Okay. Uh, Yet instead of a woman or the hoe respecting that man and leaving him alone, she pretends and lies about who she is. And by the time the man finds that out, it's too late. Most honest men don't choose women for that woman to lie and to take advantage of it. That's why I can't respect a hoe that lies. Because most men are not picking women to lie and take advantage of it. Most men are picking women because this woman put on a false pretense, or put on an illusion, or put on a deception. She pretended to be something who she was not, right? Now, the problem I have with society is, for the good honest man, that once he recognizes that this chick was a hoe or 3 or 4, or some chick he shouldn't have been dealing with, and then he dismisses her, or he blocks her, he ghosts her, he leaves her alone, what society would then do is say that that man was insecure, or that man should have forgiven her for a past life. That man should have, he was insecure in his masculinity. And you hear this from the men on here. You hear this from the men on YouTube. Instead of the men saying, well, okay, well, you did the right thing. If you didn't want a 3 or 4, or you didn't want a hoe, and she lied to you from the beginning, and she revealed that she was a 3 or 4, then you have every right to dismiss her and let her go. No, what the men on YouTube say, and the rest of society say, is that that man was insecure because he dismissed a chick that lied to him from the beginning and presented herself to be a hoe. That's what most men will say on YouTube. And then if he continues to date the hoe, they're gonna blame him for picking the hoe, for recognizing that the hoe was a hoe and still dating the hoe, or 3 or 4. Makes no sense. This is the men doing this, and the men are doing this caping for the women, right? Uh, it would be different if the woman who lived her life as a hoe 10 years ago changed her life up and cleans up her life, and was honest with that man from the beginning, and said that, hey, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I was living this whole lifestyle in my 20s. I changed my life up now that I'm in my 30s, and I'm moving over to a different leaf. I would respect that, because now it's given that man a critical a decision to make, to say, okay, cool, she pick this chick, or I can leave this chick alone. And even if he picked that chick, and then that chick, she's proven worthy, she's proven that she's really done with her past life, her whole ways, I would respect that. because she was a hoe back in her 20s. She held herself accountable. She recognized it was a mistake, right? And she changed her life over 10 years later. And now that she's in a relationship with a guy, she's not being who she was in the past. But that's not how most women are moving in today. Most women who are moving today, they were a hoe in their 20s, still being a hoe in their 30s, right? And they expect a man to wife her up while she's being a hoe. She expects to get into a relationship while she's a hoe. And she's not telling this dude that. She's not saying to this dude, hey, listen, I'm a hoe. And if you marry me, I'm going to continue to be a hoe. And most of you dudes are going to say, but why would she say that? How would that benefit her? Well, it wouldn't. Because most good, honest men are not going to pick a hoe to wife up because they know the problems that's going to go with it. If we're in a society that says it's always a man's fault because he picks the woman, well, guess what? The woman picks him. Right? But if we're going to say that it's always a man's fault, right? Then we cannot then blame that man or that good, honest man for saying, yo, I don't want to pick this because if I pick this and it goes bad, even though this chick is a hoe doing something outside of my control, y'all going to blame me. So I don't want to pick this, right? And instead of that woman saying, okay, I'm a hoe, I'm going to continue being a hoe, and being honest with that man, and once that man rejects her, dismiss her, rather than her respect that man and keep it moving, she's not gonna bash that man and shame that man into picking her. And you fucking dudes on the internet will go along with the hoes and the 304s and bash that man too. Which makes no sense from the men's part. On the men's part, in one breath, you'll tell a man it's all his fault. In that same breath, you'll tell a man to forgive a chick for her past life. In the next breath, if that chick then lies to him, right? And come to find out she was a 304, and he picks the same chick that was a 304 after y'all told him to forgive that 304's past life. You'll blame him for picking the 304 after y'all told him to do it. It's insane. The hypocrisy of you niggas on this internet. And a lot of y'all do that because, especially in black culture, is because y'all caping for these women and you're used to allowing these women dictate your masculinity. And a lot of you dudes, especially in the dating coach community, a lot of y'all are trying to train these dudes to clean up hoes. That's what y'all are doing. And y'all using words like alpha and beta and the female manipulation tactics to manipulate these men into accepting something or accepting your way of doing something when they're not interested into it. And then judging these men and saying they're weak because they don't want to fucking follow your ideology. That's not masculinity or manhood. Manhood or masculinity is saying, yo, listen, you present an offer to the men, and if they're not interested into that offer, you don't then sit there and manipulate them into picking what you want them to pick. You leave them the fuck alone. That rule applies in sales. Once that person gives you 3 no's, you leave. Right? But no, what you do is on this internet, want to do is because rest of society doesn't want to follow you and what you're doing. Right? You're not going to say that society is wrong and you're right. Or you're going to say that society is weak and you're strong. No, it's not. If you want to live that life and operate that way, you operate and live that way. Leave everybody else the fuck alone. And if the women want to operate that way, okay, operate that way with a guy that's cool with you operating like that. If you want to be a 304 or a hoe, find a guy that want to date hoes and be with 304s. That's my thing. What a lot of you dudes, right, on the internet, in these YouTube spaces, right? Just come out and be honest and say, you really don't care about the men, and you want to wife up 304s, and you want the men to wife up 304s. Just say that. Just say that you enjoy dating the garbage and the BS here in America because, you know what I'm saying, you enjoy the free box that's out here. And you have no problem cleaning up holes. Just say that. And you want all the men to be with you, cleaning up the holes. Just say that. But don't come up here and lie. Don't come up here and use alpha and beta and insecurities to play with a man's masculinity or to manipulate the men to accept your ideologies. Just be honest about what you're on. Just because you want to wife up 304s and I don't want to wife up 304s, don't mean that there's something wrong with me or you. Or maybe there is something wrong with you. And if you don't like what the societal norms, get the fuck out of society. So and go somewhere with that. That's why I respect the passport bros. The passport bros say, damn, my society, my culture, and the black culture don't respect me, they don't appreciate me. You know what? Rather than sit here and complain, I'm going to find a solution for myself. And they did. My other thing is that you have men on YouTube who are players, max, and pimps that fucked up the board, that was out there 304 mongering and fucked up the board for the rest of the men on the board. And now going to blame the rest of the men for their fucked up actions instead of taking accountability on what they say. And when how they escape shame and accountability from the rest of the men, they'll blame you. They'll tell you you're player hating or you're dirty macking, while dirty macking and player hating on everybody else. It's ridiculous, right? Right. We keep blaming the men for why he keeps picking bad women. We must have to ask the question, why are there so many bad women on the board or in the well to pick from? Right? That's like saying Jay-Z living in Marcy Projects or 50 Cent in South Jamaica, Queens. We're going to blame Jay-Z for Marcy Projects. Well, we should blame Marcy Projects for Jay-Z. Why was Marcy Projects so fucked up that Jay-Z had to grow up in it? Why is the environment that a lot of these black boys have to grow up in, what was wrong with that environment that he couldn't thrive in that environment, that he had to leave that environment to go somewhere else, right? If you go into nature, right, you go to a, say, lions in the jungle or in the savannah or the desert, and the lions are getting sick from something they're eating from the gazelle. Are we going to blame the lion for him eating the gazelle? Are we going to look into what's going on with the environment, what's going on with the gazelle? And once we find the problem in the environment or with the gazelle, what we're going to do is to clean up that environment or that gazelle so that the lions can eat better and thrive better in that environment. Right? So why is it now when men are picking bad women from that environment, from the well, why are we not looking towards the woman in that environment and telling the woman, hey, y'all got to step your game up. Hey, y'all got to clean up your attitude. Hey, so that the men can pick better. Why is it that a lot of you niggas, because this is not with me, I'm not stupid. Y'all can gaslight everybody else with pussy and whatever else you want to use, but not me, right? Why is it that you guys on the internet are so fucking delusional in your hubris that you want to sit there and pretend like the well isn't fucked up? Because you're cool or good with engaging with drinking from the poison water. If you're cool with drinking from the poison well, and it may not be poison, maybe for you, the environment is perfect for you. Maybe the well is good for you. Maybe the poison is good for your psychology and it helps you, but it don't help me. It don't help the good, honest man. You want the good, honest man to stay here in American culture, in Western culture, in Black culture. I'm speaking, well, speaking specifically to Black American men, but um, any man can listen to this and apply it to themselves, right? And you want to tell Black American men that he should stick here, who's honest and solid, he should stick here, and deal with garbage, and then want to tell him he has to mold a woman. Why would he? Why should he have to go into dirt and into bullshit and try to mold the dirt into try to take poison, clean up the poison water to make it clean water? Why should he have to do that? Why can't there be clean water already there? Oh, I forgot. Most of you dudes are afraid to hold women accountable because you're basing your masculinity on what a woman thinks and what she finds unattractive and attractive. That's your fucking problem. And I freed myself from that. I freed myself from having to tailor my masculinity and to accept certain things and not voice my opinions as a man. That's what you're supposed to be doing because of how a woman feels about it, or if she finds me unattractive or not. Because most of women's what they base their attraction on or not is their feelings. Today, they're attractive to guys who are dark skinned and 6 foot. Tomorrow, they're attractive to guys who are light skinned and 5'2". And a lot of what women say they're attracted to, that's not who they date in actuality. They'll tell good honest dudes that they must be making 6 figures this, 6 figures that, be 6 foot that, but they'll date and get into a relationship with a jailbird, a bum. You look at these dating channels, these dating shows on the internet with Kendra G and them. A lot of the dudes that be on Kendra G's show be straight up prisoners and jailbirds. Prison niggas. And shout out to the prison niggas. Shit, shout out to the Pookies and the Raray. Shout out to the prison niggas. Because if that's where a woman wants to be, that's where she wants to be. And I believe every man deserves to be with a woman. I don't care where you at in life. You deserve to have a woman. My issue is that we allow women to get away with the hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? And then you men, the way you men talk on this internet is that you want men to keep rewarding women who are unworthy with traditional masculinity or masculinity, period. I don't understand that. And my position is that a traditional man should not be dating hoes or even entertaining hoes. Them hoes shouldn't even be able to touch you or get to you. No, I don't even have an issue with the players in the max. Because as a man, you're entitled to be what you think you want to be or you believe is best for you to be. My issue is that when the players in the max claim to respect and adhere to the rules of the game, want to dirty back on the traditional niggas who don't want to live their lifestyle like that. And then want to poison the women and then expect traditional niggas to date the women that they poison. And then shame a dude say that there's something wrong with his masculinity for not accepting the player's ideology. That's not masculinity or manhood. If you don't like what the fuck I'm saying or what the fuck I think, don't fucking watch me. Live your life, player. If the passport bros are dating outside the country and what they're doing is not fucking affecting you, why the fuck do you care, player? Why do you care? I never seen so many punk ass, black ass niggas on this YouTube that you give a shit about what another black man is doing. That you're gonna check another black man is doing. You want to allow another black man to be free. In this country where black men haven't been free for 4 centuries, other black ass niggas want to be catch a nigga and shame other black men for dating how the fuck you want to date. I don't respect a man that's not man enough to check his woman, but you're cool with checking other men. That's not how that works. A boss don't check another boss. A man don't tell another man how to operate unless that man come to you and ask you a question. You can suggest him something, or you're speaking in general. You're not going to anybody directly. But y'all niggas want to sit up here and go on this internet and tell other men, oh, he weaken his masculinity because he don't want to wife up a 3 or 4 because you wifed up a 3 or 4. Fuck you and your 3 or 4 that you wifed up. How about that? Ridiculous. That we sit here in a society, in an environment where a woman is held accountable everywhere else for lying, but in a relationship, in dating and mating, a man can't fucking hold her accountable. A man can hold her accountable on a job when she fucking up. When she runs a red light, she gets to be held accountable for paying a fucking ticket to the state of New York. Damn. Same thing with the soft guy era. Because niggas are saying, hey, listen, if you want my masculinity, you have to pay for me. You have to do A, B, C, and D for me. Niggas on the internet are upset with that and calling niggas gay. But you'll accept a nigga that a rainbow community nigga, but you call straight heterosexual men who are demanding women to do A, B, C, and D and having an expectation of women. Y'all calling them gay. And y'all saying you're not doing that in the name of masculinity. Y'all are doing that for bitches and for these hoes. Is what you're doing. Same thing with the passport, bro. Because black American men want to explore their options elsewhere. You niggas here in America are saying he's not a real man. Who the fuck are you? Most you black men in America get what you believe a real man from your women or from the white man in America. But you tell your black American brother for exploring other options, he ain't a real man. And you should know better than that. I've never seen such dirty macking. I've never seen such player hating from the black men on YouTube in black culture. I've never seen so much of that. It's insane. But yeah, this is I will never respect a hoe that lies. I respect honest hoes because honest hoes are very transparent. They let men know who they are, and they give the men an option to choose if she wants her on his team. And if that man tells her, "Hey, listen, this is what I expect from you," honest hoe has no problem being the expectation that that man wants her to be. And I can't even call a lot of you women hoes that lie, because you're pretending to be something you're not. Because a real hoe or a hoe in general, she's not gonna lie. Because a hoe respects the game, just like the men respect the game. You see women that pretend to be things you're not, and after you live your lifestyle now, you want to be a so-called housewife to a dude and lie about who you were in your past, and you won't even take the time to clean up yourself or what you did in your past to be a new person. You want to pretend to be a housewife while still being a hoe, while being have the benefits of a relationship. And then you pussy ass niggas on the internet want to tell the men to be traditional men to bitches like that, and then blame the man for picking a bitch like that. Unbelievable. But yeah, this is the short little video I made. My name is Kishore Gaming Nation. Um, Check my channel out, donate, subscribe, let everybody know who I am, about me. Thank you for those of you who clicked the view button, click the like, click the share. I see you.